I'm Kristy from Kristy Coromandel, and you're going to need a piece of Whisper White cardstock that measures 7.5 by 12 centimeters. So I'm just going to set that aside for a moment. Then we're going to do an inking blending technique here. And so I have with me 2 ink pads, So Saffron and Delightful Dijon. Now, the best way to do this is to pick colors that are next to each other in the color wheel. That way that you know they're going to blend really nicely together. So I'm going to start with my So Saffron, and I've got here with me a craft mat, a plastic sheeting. Now, if you don't have one of these, you can always use acetate, a bit of plastic, or even some wax or baking paper if you need to. So I'm just going to tip my ink pad upside down and generously place some ink onto my mat here. And then with my Whisper White, I'm just going to put that in down, and with my fingers just make sure that that's all lying flat, and we're going to then, if you lift it up, that's just what it's going to look like. So I can scrape that up a bit more and just get up all of that nice ink, and we're going to get this really cool little texture thing happening here. So next I'm going to add my Delightful Dijon. Now I don't want to add quite a lot of ink to this because this is a stronger color, so I'm just going to just place a little bit of color on my craft mat that I've got there, and then I'm just gently controlling where that color is going to be. So I can just gently move that around and scrape that down in like that. So we want to cover up those white gaps. So this is here where we kind of flip it over, have a look, and if you need to, by all means, add a bit more color down to your craft mat. You can always add a bit more So Saffron if we need to, but I'm quite happy with where that is at the moment, and we're going to leave it like that. I quite like the look of that at the moment, so we're going to set that aside to dry, and then we'll be back. So our white piece of cardstock that we previously done our inking technique is nice and dry now, so I'm just going to temporarily stick this down to my grid paper so that it doesn't move, and we're going to stamp our image and our greeting onto it. Now I'm using the tree image here from Lovely as a Tree, but you can use any you like. I'm wanting to make this card more into a masculine card, so that's why I've gone for a tree image, and we're going to ink this up using our black archival ink that we have here. So I'm just inking this up like so. And I've gone ahead and I've already put this image here onto my Stamp-A-Majig because I want this to be down the bottom in the center here. So I'm just going to line this up, sync this up a little bit more. And you can see what that looks like. Now for my greeting, because I wanted this to be a masculine card, I'm using For You. Now I found this image from, or this greeting from the Birthday Bloom set. And so once again, I've put this on my imaging sheet, and I'm going to ink this up using my black archival ink. And I'm going to center and stick this to the top right hand side of my greeting, my card front there. We're going to stick this piece here using some fast fuse adhesive to some basic black cardstock, and my basic black piece here measures 8 centimeters by 12.5. So I'm just going to center and stick that down, leaving equal borders around all 4 sides. Now to add a little bit extra, I've gone and used my basic pearls here, and I've colored in a couple of them using a Sharpie marker. So I'm just going to stick these, now that they've dried, in the top left hand corner of my card front here. So you'll need a piece of Delightful Dijon cardstock that measures 21 by 15 centimeters, and then we're going to score that at the 10.5 mark and fold that in half to create our card base. Now I'm going to actually stamp a bit of texture to this card, and here I'm using the Gorgeous Grunge stamp set and using one of the images from there, but you can use any stamp set you like to add a bit of texture. So sometimes some of our background stamps are great, and also I think our Timeless Texture stamp set would be also great to add a bit of texture to this project here. So all I'm doing is just gently inking it up into my Delightful Dijon ink. I'm just going to stamp it off and then gradually just stamp this a few times onto my card front. So I've gone ahead and I've put some Stamper Dimensionals on the back, and now we're going to stick this to our card front that we had stamped earlier, and we're going to center this into the middle, and then there's our card.